Okay, hey everybody. I thought it'd be fun to do a top card list for season one. So season one's going on right now as the first expansion, second expansion, or first starter deck, second starter deck, and then the first expansion. It's mostly Karasuno, and it really focuses on Hinata Kageyama synergies. But I wanted to go over what I think are the top 10 cards. And this is just my opinion from what I've seen. And I wouldn't fight over too hard over any one card except one, which I'll get to. But let's start with the special cards. I think this is one of the top 10 cards, this special here. And it says, draw a card. If you're receiving and your attack card is from Abajosai, add +2 to your receive. So it's not a Abajosai only. You could have a mixed deck or mixed schools and still run this card as long as whoever's in the attack position is from Abajosai. So let's grab one really quick so we can see that. So if you receive, toss, attack, if he's in the attack position from last turn, so next time you're receiving, or when you're receiving now on this turn, you get +2. So he's at 0. I could play this and put him at 2, even though he's not from Abajosai. So the reason I like this card is because +2 receive is huge. There's so many times where attacks just get through, and you're close to stopping it. And it draws a card, so it's 1 for 1. It cycles, it does its job and gets you another card, so it's just really good. Any cards that do that are huge. So I think that this is one of the top 10 cards, or how many specials do I have? 4 different specials. It's one of the top 4 specials. I think it's really good. You could, build your deck focused around that. Let's look at another card. So this is Do Your Best. It's exactly like this, except it doesn't have any requirements, and it's just +1 to your receive, draw a card. Doing something and drawing a card, cycling a card is huge. Sometimes you just need to cycle a card. Almost every deck that we're building runs this card because it's a free card for +1 to receive. So I'm a huge fan of this card. I think it's really good. So the next card that I think is one of the top 10 cards is this. If you're receiving, search your toss area guts for a Kageyama and draw it. If you do, you may search your special card area and draw one that isn't a copy of this card. So you can't infinitely cycle this, but you can use this to grab this, which draws you a card, which is huge. So you're not only are you looking for a Kageyama and drawing it, but you're getting another card and drawing it to use, which in turn gets you another card. So if you do that, you're getting extra stats and extra cards. So it's 2 for 1. It's kind of 3 for 1 in a way. So that's why I think this card's really good. It does require Kageyama synergy. So you need to keep that in mind if you do add it to your deck. But it's a really, really, really good card. Next, and I guess you can kind of see a theme, but if your deck, so what this does is draw a card. So cycling is huge, and it does a job of setting your receive to 5, or if the person is already at 5 to 7. Receiving is so important because you can't toss an attack if you weren't able to receive. Having ways to cycle cards so it's not a dead card is huge. If this didn't draw a card, it would be 100 times worse. But the fact that it cycles a card and does something really beneficial just makes it a great card. There's a lot of times where your receive is fine, but you just need to look for a different card. So that's why these 3 cards all draw a card and help with receive, which is a weak point for most decks. So these I think are the top special cards. You could use all of them in the same deck. So let's look at this Nishinoya. So it's Crosswinnel only. So you'd lose a couple of these cards, but when this card is in the top of the receive pile guts and you play a card in the receive area that isn't Nishinoya, you get +2 receive. So 4 receive is really good. There's only 2 other cards that have higher than 4. There's 5. So if, for example, you received with him, you get the bonus of like a really good 4 receive. Then on your next turn, he's just sitting here and gives you +2 receive. So if I played him, he's instead of 0, he's at +2 just for him like being in the guts at the top. So it's a 2-for-1, like just really good value. 4 receive is like really solid. His other stats aren't very good, and he has no serve, but I still think just the fact that he can do two things with 1 card is just really important. So I run this right now in a lot of decks. Just I'm a huge fan of it. This Daichi, so it's another 4 receive, which is good. 0 toss, 1 attack, 1 block, which isn't that good. But if this card is in the receive area, you may pay 2 guts to draw a card. So we know how that works. If these 2 cards are in the receive, and he receives, which is really good, I can pay 2 guts to draw a card. So drawing cards is really important, and not like this card's good, but I have to discard this to draw a card. Him, I get his ability of receiving and paying guts to draw a card, so it's kind of a 2-for-1. Like anytime there's value, that's like really important and just really helpful. So I like this card in all my decks that use guts, and just 4 receive is really, really good, because if someone like has a really good serve or a good attack, like having good receive, it's super important. Here's another card that has like value essentially. If this card is the top card of the attack area guts and you play an attacker other than Hinata, it can't be blocked. So unblockable is huge. I built a whole deck just based off blocking, and this really shuts it down. So if on a turn I attacked with Hinata here, and then next turn I attack with this card, since Hinata's at the top card of the area guts, and I'm playing this card that's not Hinata, his attack's unblockable. So even though, let's just say you have a 3 attack, it's not very big. The fact that it's unblockable forces the opponent to receive, toss, and attack. Sometimes if you have a weak attack, you can just throw 1 blocker up, and it's really helpful. This prevents someone from just getting an easy, cheap block, having this Hinata. So I think it's really good value. And it has a 3 attack anyway, which the highest printed attack is 3. The highest with bonus is 4, so it's just a really good card. You have no problem attacking with this and then attacking with someone else on the next turn. I included this card, and it might seem weird because it doesn't have any like 2-for-1. There's no like synergy. There's no like nothing super special about it except the fact that its stats are just so good. If we look at all the printed numbers and call that like the total power of a card, this card has the highest total power. There's nothing that gets, I think it's 8, yeah, 3 + 1 + 2 + 2, 8. This has an 8 total power. It has good block, good attack, it has toss, and it has 3 receive, which is pretty good. This just is an all-around good card. The stats are solid. So that's why I included it. It's not like the most fancy or it's not the coolest card, but it's actually really powerful. It can do anything. It can help block. It can boost and attack. It can even receive if it has to. So I'm just a huge fan of this Sugawara card. Great card. Next is this Oikawa. So it has 4 serve. There's only 2 cards in season 1 that have 4 serve, and 4 serve scores a lot. I've been like saying this so much, but you'd be surprised how often you're going to score with this. And on top of that, if this card is in the toss area, you may pay 2 guts to draw a card. It also has really good card draw, and it's just so important for card draw. And it actually has toss. Like 1 toss is really big because it's hard to get big attacks with 0 toss. Like you have to have toss in there. So that's why I just think this card's really good. The serve power, it has toss. It can attack, but you probably never will. And just the ability to pay 2 guts to draw a card is good. But hopefully you're serving with this guy because he smashes the serves. I will say right now, season 1, in my opinion, this is the best card. It has 3 serve, which is good. You can serve with it, but you really don't want to because you want to be tossing with this. Its special ability reads, if this card is in the toss area, add +1 attack to a Hinata or a character with 3 or less attack, which is like every card. So it's basically +1 attack, and you have a toss of 1. So this card, just on its own, is giving +2 attack. So for example, let's take a look at this. We received here, toss here, and then attack here. So for just 3 cards out of your hand, you're doing an attack for +1, add +1 attack to a Hinata, and then 1 toss. And then he has a printed 3 attacks, that's 5. Getting 5 attack almost always costs you 4 cards or 3 cards and 2 guts. This is like one of the only ways to use 3 cards and have a 5 attack. It's really powerful. Like the fact that he gives +2 attack for 1 card that also gets to toss is just huge. So I think right now, like this is one of the best cards. Like just running it is a no-brainer because you can smash like a 5 attack, or if you have bonuses, you can easily get it to 6. You can get it to 7. I've seen 1 8 attack and 1 9 attack, and the 9 attack used this card. I can't remember all the cards in the 9 attack, but it was him, and then Hinata that was 2 + 2, so 4. So just off those 2 cards, or off these 2 cards, you have a 5 attack, which is good. So yeah, that's like the 10 cards that I think are the best in season 1. I know like when season 2 comes out and more expansions come out, it'll probably change, but right now I think these are the best cards. So yeah, if you feel like playing, or if you think there's other better cards in season 1, let me know.